buddies, but the networking part of it is just such a valuable. I know we keep getting back to that, but I think that's really important with our students because what are you going to do after graduation? These are trade shows that you want to be in the community with other working professionals.
For sure.
You know.
And that's how our industry runs, really. I tell my students all the time, and it's not just us talking about networking. I mean, we know that this is true in our industry. The only way for you to go to that next level in this industry is meeting people, getting to know people that know people. Networking is the key to success in this industry. So don't underestimate.
So he
awesome.
makes like 8-bit, kind of real happy 8-bit music, you know, fits his vibe there. You know, fits his vibe there.
Yeah.
But he's great at explaining his production. And you can pick up great tips from him. It's True Cuckoo on YouTube. True Cuckoo.
True Cuckoo, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
True Cuckoo.
Does he do game audio as well?
You know,
composing for games?
I don't. You know, I think he has, but that's not really his main thing. Is performance and like reviewing stuff online. You know, like reviewing. People send him synthesizers, like not standard synthesizers, but more off the beaten path type of synthesizers, and he comes up with some real wild stuff with them. You know, he's like a synth guru. So, just listening to him, you know, you can pick up a lot of stuff production-wise, from synthesis-wise. He tells you about the keys that the chords and stuff that he's playing, and he's just and he's very happy. So happy that you feel happy watching. You know what I mean? Yeah, the vibe coming through YouTube too.
You look happy just meeting him.
I was
right
happy.
there.
I was super happy meeting that guy. He's so cool. Yeah, we hung out for a little while. Yeah, he was super nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool too, because I did find also those that I was meeting with after the trade show, they wanted to go to dinner and still continue the conversation, link up the next day. But you don't want to crowd this space, you know, you know, make that initial connection with them and just kind of let it breathe, you know, get out the way. You don't want to be overbearing.
Go on their face the whole time.
Yeah, like, hey, remember me? when are we going to collaborate?
Everywhere they go, you're there.
You're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just make it as natural as possible. I think that the more natural you are when networking, I think you get a better response from them than trying to be really uptight and in their face.
Eric, were you able to connect, because I know you do sample packs and you work with a lot of these manufacturers, were you able to connect with any that you're working with?
Yeah, a couple slides from here. There's a guy named Cenk, C-E-N-K. It might just say Electron maybe for the name, but he works for the company Electron, synthesizer company. Thought I had him. He's like the third one from the top.
Okay, here we go.
There he is. Well, it'll come up eventually.
Taking a moment.
But yeah, I was introduced to this guy because I ran into a guy that I met here on campus named Houston Singletary, who at the time was working for Ableton. And I ran into Houston at NAMM, and I should have had his picture here, but that's Cenk. Houston introduced me to Cenk and said, Eric's a great sound designer, you guys should put him to work. And that's exactly what they did. They were like, hey, which synthesizers do you have of ours? I told them, and they said, okay, we want you to create a sample pack, a synthesizer pack for this one, a sample pack for this one, and a sample pack for this one. And I'm like, okay, great, perfect, you know? So that was probably my most productive meeting that time, because I walked away with doing some good work for that company. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's pretty cool.
Was that this is this year?
No, that was in 2019.
2019.
Yep,
okay.
2019.
Okay.
I have less gray hair in that one.
Hey, we're getting younger.
I know, right?
Yeah.
At heart. Yeah. Yeah, but that one was great. And this year, I went and met my buddy Marco Polo was going up there, and he's with Akai. He's creating sample packs for Akai, and you know, he and I have worked with sample packs and stuff before, and he was like, hey, you know, if you're gonna be in this area, it'd be cool to meet you. So I was like, man, that's like another, you know, like I said, I keep getting these emails of people like, hey, you're gonna be there, you're gonna be there. So I'm like, all right, that's enough people, my threshold's met, I gotta go, you know? So this year I went out and met up with Marco Polo, and he introduced me to that guy, Andy Mack, that I was showing in the pictures earlier in hopes of getting some sample packs going with Akai. So
that's great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all the best with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we need it. Call me for some keys.
Oh, you know you're going to be there. I was going to say, yeah, if I'm doing it, you're doing it. Yeah, for sure.
Did you guys catch any of the educational sessions? I know that they have the exhibits with the artist performances and the product reviews, but were there any other educational sessions that you've seen? I didn't really attend much of those.
Yeah, they had a few, but with so much going on, sometimes you got to be selective. Yes, I do recommend some of these educational ones. Like if you're able to go to an Avid Pro Tool ones, I mean that's incredible. Sure. But this time around, I didn't get to do a lot of the educational ones, just because I was more focused onto the networking aspect and also meeting some of these mix engineers that I've been, wanting to just see for a long time now.
So. Nice.
Absolutely.
I had some scheduled for this year, some pretty cool ones, but my flight was delayed. So by the time I got there Friday, they were all done. They were all done. Yeah. And they shortened the hours this year, I think, because of the fires out in California. And so that kind of, everything ended very early, you know? Everything ended early this year.
It was
still great.
I'm sorry, I was going to mention that because those on the West Coast was experiencing the fires at that time. So did you see that the crowds were less for that?
No, it was massive. It was so packed over there.
Yeah. About a week before, the president of NAMM sent out an email saying, hey, we're going to be well off of where the fires are happening and we're safe, and so we're going to keep it going. For a while, I thought that maybe it was going to get canceled.
Same. Yeah.
But we got that email from the president saying, hey, we're good to go, no worries, we're safe and away from the fires. And so I think everyone just green light and went for it. So.
Did they do away with NAMM in Nashville? Because at some point in time, they used to have a summer show, right? And NAMM, just so everyone knows, it's in late January?
Yes, late January, right at the end of the month. Yeah,
at the end of the month each year in Anaheim, California, at the convention center.
Yes, and I still think there's summer NAMM. I do, because I could have swore I was getting some emails about it, and when I was signing up, I was trying to get tickets for this NAMM, I was seeing stuff for summer NAMM. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to buy for that. I want to make sure I'm, getting winter NAMM, But yeah, I think so. But that would be a cool one to visit too, because we could drive from here to go up there.
You're right.
To Nashville.
The winter NAMM seems to be the iconic one, the more busy,
that's the
show.
main one. I think the other one's more of a mid-year kind of show, but the January one is the main one for sure.
At the top of the year, companies are releasing their new products, get it out on the market.
Yeah, there's a ton of new gear, and so for me, I love seeing just all the great people playing all the gear, whether it's new or old. You just get to see people going berserk on stuff, and it's like, wow. It's like you get to see 15 concerts, just in the little booths you go to and the actual concerts you go to. It's great on so many levels,
That's great.
Yeah. And the younger audience too. I saw a bunch of kids this time that they'll go. I saw this kid that was a drummer. He was like 8 years old.
Man.
Just destroying the drum set. It was incredible to see.
Yeah.
I saw some guitar player. The girl was incredible. And I was just like, wow, this generation that's already getting into this stuff now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could imagine 20 years from now when we go to NAMM.
Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah, exactly.
And we see all these kids actually doing, what they love in the future. It's really cool to see that right now.
It seems like more A&Rs for record companies need to go to NAMM to discover artists and
I
talent.
would agree. I would agree. Yeah.
There are some. Really there's quite a few A&Rs that actually go. So
that would be smart.
That's how I got invited the first time around. Was one of the A&Rs from Sony Music Latin invited me out to NAMM the first time around.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
they go. A&Rs are there. So if you have your music, you have everything set up, take it there. You never know who you're gonna bump into at NAMM. It's just thousands of people to meet over there. So.
Sometimes you see too many. Like I remember this year I went to the DJ area. It's one of the places I go, and in the DJ world, and I'm talking like scratch DJs.
Okay.
There's just so many legendary DJs. I mean, they're just like this room full of people, and they're all legendary DJs. I don't even know where, which one to go to, which one to talk to. There's so many of them, and it's unbelievable. Yeah, and I think, like you say, you see the greatest musicians. Like you go and there's some kid playing drums or somebody playing guitar, and it's just like next level, Or I went one year and they had remember the piano? You guys ever see the piano on the wall?
I don't believe I've seen that one.
Man, I should have put that for the video. They have a piano on the wall, and it's like a key piano. I don't know what it is, but man, that guy was going off. I mean, it sounded like a whole band was playing, you know, off this thing.
Wow.
It was ridiculous, and it was just in the hallway. It's like in the hallway. It wasn't a display or it was just, they just set them up there and were like, have at it, you know. But yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I would recommend anybody, if you're ever able to go, make sure you go. And I guess like we all been kind of saying is make sure you have your profiles up to date, you know. Make sure you have all your stuff up to date. Make sure you have something going, a LinkedIn, something like that going, you know, where you're able to present yourself and your work as a professional. And that would be the first step before going to NAMM, before going to any trade shows, I would say, is having something like that set up, you know, so you can actually go out there and present yourself.
Always be ready with your elevator pitch.
For sure.
Just in case you meet someone, it's a quick hi and bye, but you're able to say something within 30 seconds or so. Have that memorized and just naturally come to you. And I think that's also a pretty good idea.
That's awesome, yeah, for sure.
That's great. And this is something that could be applied to any trade show.
Yeah.
AES or, you know, so many of them. I've fortunately only attended the NAMM show, but the times that I've gone, it's been quite rewarding and made some really great connections during that time. So, so
always great. I went out to Berlin once for an Ableton Loop convention, and that one was pretty amazing as well. It was pretty much everywhere you go, it's like, here's this guy, there's DJ Jazzy Jeff over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to go meet DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Exactly.
All right, dude, you know? So,
let's go there first.
And of course, DJ Jazzy Jeff sat there and talked to me for about 20 minutes.
Wow.
You know, just he and I, there's people around us and stuff, but we're just talking about music and production, and I'm thanking him for being such a legendary DJ and producer, you know, and the motivation and all that stuff. So it was, you know, it was cool.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that they're humans too.
For sure.
Because you know, you've seen them in so many other places and things that when you get them and see them in person, you're like, oh, it's another human. I can talk to this human.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it puts that
Absolutely.
human characteristic definitely to them. Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure.
I don't know, we're running short on time, but I'm not sure if I shared the image of, I have one in here with the legendary Stevie Wonder, but
oh yeah, that
maybe,
one's a must.
Yeah, and let's see if we could pull that up quickly.
Yeah, that'd be a nice treat to share with
Let's see.
the
I don't know what's
audience
happening
That
here.
can be the sign-off picture.
Yeah.
Just refresh it, maybe.
Yeah, I lost that somehow.
We lost the internet.
But if anyone wants to see that, what's great about it, you all will see us in your future classes. I teach the final class of the program in audio production. And you know what month that you're?
I am month number, I believe number 11 or 12 for recording arts students and audio production students. And then you'll see me in month number, I believe is 15 or 16 if you're in music production. So for those of you that are tuning in from audio production, you'll see me very soon, hopefully. So.
How about you, Erik?
Ooh, I'm somewhere between month 12 and month 15.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. They'll see you though. They'll have you.
Oh, they'll definitely see me.
Yeah.
Maybe more than once. Yeah.
Okay.
Then class 2 possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to my class. I invited them today.
Yes.
We had lecture earlier today. Hope some of you guys made it to the broadcast.
All right. So do we have any questions, John? No questions?
No questions.
Okay. Well, Erik and Juan, it's a pleasure having this conversation with you. We certainly have to do this again.
Yes.
And that's all the time we have for today. And we hope that you've enjoyed our session today concerning the NAMM show. And we hope that it was just as pleasing for you to hear our experiences. Before we conclude the session, I would like to give a huge thank to the show production team who make all of this happen, to John Coase, Katie Cohan, and Stephen Kamasi, who is the student in this month's class who's doing all the things behind the scenes. So great job, everyone. This wouldn't be made possible without you. And also giving a thanks to our program director, Brian Smithers, for his involvement in this process with our audio production town hall series each month. Remember that the Audio Production Town Hall is a monthly event, ordinarily happen on the third or fourth Monday of each month. Keep an eye out on Full Sail 1 for information about the next month's Town Hall. And thank you for joining us, everyone. That's a wrap. Great session, guys.
not bad. It's not too hard. Yeah. I'm sure if our wives would be here, they'd be bored, but.